Hey there, everybody. Ted Lacksonen, the country thinker here, back with another episode of The Eagle Has Crashed. Now, last week we had the first episode of Eaglenomics, which is a talk show. And as I said, if you didn't enjoy it, then you can skip through it. But I certainly hope everyone does listen to those Eaglenomics episodes, because that's where I go through a lot of the technical details. And really, there's, I think, quite a bit to be gained by listening to them. But anyhow, this week we return to the story, and we will be in September of 2029. So without any further talking, it's a lengthy chapter, so anyhow, without any further talking, let's move on to the story. It was 1:37 a.m. when Benny Johansson left the offices of Wells and Whitehurst after editing drafts of several motions her associates had prepared for the O-Air bankruptcy. She was beat, as this was the earliest she had headed home in 3 weeks. Twice she had not gone home at all. But this night her eyelids had resisted the caffeine, and her handwritten red ink comments for her associates were completely illegible. If Benny hadn't been half asleep, she might have noticed the man standing in the shadows of the nearly empty parking garage. "Miss Johansson," he said, stepping into the light. Benny jumped with a squeal and put her hand on her chest. She didn't answer and quickly opened the door to her sporty little Mercedes. The man pulled out a gun from his suit coat and aimed it at her. Benny froze in place, her Saturday night special and can of mace both trapped in her purse. "Are you, or are you not, Miss Benjamina Johansson?" he asked, shaking the gun at her. She nodded, now fully awake as fear coursed through her veins. "I need to talk to you for a minute." His features were severe, his expression emotionless. "Call me at my office." Benny was visibly trembling, and her eyes darted about in search for security cameras. "Don't worry," he said as he walked to the back of the shiny red car. "I made sure no one can see us." He motioned with the gun, and she closed the car door. "I wanted to talk to you in person because I think it makes more of an impression when you meet face to face." He brushed her cheek with the barrel of the gun, and her breaths became short and shallow. "Wouldn't you agree?" She nodded again, her eyes beginning to water. "I want to talk to you about your husband." Her expression conveyed her response. "What the hell are you talking about?" "Miss Johansson, your husband has pissed off some very powerful people. They want him to stop with the silly reform bill of his. He didn't get my first message, so I decided to talk to you." Her eyes flashed. "You're the bastard who sabotaged his SUV?" The left corner of his mouth curled up. "Not me personally, but I ordered it." "He could have died in the crash." "Nah, he got good and banged up, just like I planned." "You son of a bitch!" His smile grew, and she realized he was enjoying himself. "Anyhow, Benny, I need you to convince your thick-headed husband to give up on his reform bill. He's messing with the powers that be, and that's a dangerous game. Things are fine just as they are, and it's my job to make sure they stay that way." She shook her head. "He'll never do it. It's in his blood." "I know. That's why I'm talking to you." Benny studied his eyes. This guy's a killer. He tapped the underside of her chin with the black metal gun barrel. "You let him know that I can get to his pretty wife any time I want to. His kids, too. If Zach and Alyssa go on a little vacation, he'll change his tune." Her mother bear instincts kicked in, and she stepped back and pointed. "Touch my kids and I'll break your fucking neck," she screamed. Perfect, he thought. She's scared and angry. He sighed. "Listen, Benny, I don't want to hurt any of you, but I have my orders." "Orders from whom?" "You know damn well I'm not going to answer that question," he thought. "As I was saying, I'll do whatever it takes to shut your husband up, but I'd rather not kill any of you." He pinched his nose. "Bodies are a pain in the ass to get rid of." The image of her 2 children lying in caskets flashed in her vision, and she began to sob. "So here's the deal. Get Dylan to back off, and you'll never see me again. And if he doesn't, I'll make it quick and painless." Her legs weakened, and she collapsed to the concrete floor of the garage, sobbing into her hands. I see you understand, he said with a smile. Now there's one last detail. No going to the cops about this, you understand? She continued sobbing. What the hell, he thought. Let's push her a little further. He gave her a gentle kick in the ribs. Answer me! No going to the cops, okay? She looked up with teary eyes that were red from caffeine, exhaustion, and crying. I got it, you asshole! He smiled. Excellent. He tipped his head in her direction. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Miss Johansson. Enjoy the rest of your morning. He turned and walked away, the clump of his heavy leather shoes echoing through the concrete garage. Without looking back, he added one final comment. And if you try something with that little gun in your purse, you'd better get it right on the first try. How the hell does he know about that? She thought. She felt violated, and her sobbing intensified. If he knows about a gun that hasn't been out of my purse for months, he probably knows, and has seen, everything about me. It was 3:30 a.m., and Benny was curled up in a ball, wrapped in Dylan's comforting arms. I've never been so scared in all my life, she whispered. He responded with a squeeze. I can't believe someone from our profession would hire an assassin. I don't think this guy's working for the lawyers. Most everyone in the bar hates my guts, but I don't think they'd go this far. Benny scowled, her face lit by a band of light from the bathroom. Who the hell is it, then? He shrugged. Hard to say. There are a lot of folks out there who are really happy with our legal system in the mess it is. Some of them are pretty dangerous. I mean, I've got some pretty nasty threats, but no one's ever acted on them before. Why haven't you told me about this before? I never thought they'd really come after me like this. You mean us, darling. Dylan smiled slightly. The hint of her Alabama drawl was a sign she was relaxing. You're right. Us. She looked up to her husband. Dylan, I know this means a lot to you, but I want you to quit on this whole legal reform thing. He kissed the top of her head. Promise me, Dylan. He ran his hands through her long, straight hair. Let's sleep on it, honey. I'm doing this for you and the kids, he thought. I can't back down. Nate North sat in bed in silk Cleveland Browns boxer shorts with the television remote and his hands resting on his large, hairy belly. Cassie exited the master bathroom in pink cotton shorts pajamas and slipped into bed alongside her husband. She leaned on her elbow and stared at him. He turned and scowled. What? She smiled softly. What are we going to do about the company, Nate? He turned back to the television and changed the channel. Do we have to talk about this now? The Browns lost the season opener, again, and I want to hear what the hell they're going to do about it. Pro football was an annual exercise in torture for Nate, but thinking about the future of his company was even more painful. Cassie grabbed the remote out of Nate's hand and turned off the television. Yes, sweetie, I want to talk about this now. Nate sighed heavily. Fine, what do you want me to say? What do you think we should do? Honey, NorthFab has been in the family for 60 years. In my heart, I want to keep it open. That was only partly true, and they both knew it. Sure, the family business was part of his identity, but he felt betrayed by his workers' decision to unionize. The satisfaction from running NorthFab was the freedom to run it his way, and now he would have to consider the union. The damned union, in every decision he made. Okay, what do we have to do? Cassie asked. Well, the big contract with Honda is gone since we couldn't get a loan for our new equipment. So we've got to move past that. From here I see only one option, which is to agree to the union's demands and see if we can make a go of it. Do you think that will work? Cassie kept the company's books, and she had already told her husband that NorthFab was in deep trouble. Union Scale would finish the company off. Still, the decision had to come from the boss. It'll be tough, real tough. We'll have to take some pretty big losses on the contracts we have and try to get some new ones, which will be hard since business is the most competitive I've ever seen. Cassie knew the real question wasn't whether they were going to lose NorthFab, but how. She tried to move the boss a little closer to the inevitable conclusion. Do we have any other choices? Like what? I mean, besides keeping Northfab. If it's getting too tough, maybe we should consider the options. Cassie's palms were damp. Nate rubbed the bridge of his nose. Do you remember that Korean guy who made an offer on the company a couple of years ago? Maybe he's still interested. Or maybe someone else would want to buy the company. Then I could get us some dough and get the hell out of the fab business. Not a chance in hell, she thought. There are no buyers. I've already looked. I've got to get him past the idea of selling the company. Could you let go of Northfab? She asked. Nate folded his hand on his belly and stared into space, fighting back emotions. For Dad and Grandpa, Northfab was a way to turn hard work into a decent living. If things have gotten to where I can't make a living even if I work hard and do the right things, would they blame me if I gave up? I doubt it. What else is bothering you, Nate? It pisses me off that the guys went with the union. We've always done the best by them that we could. I feel betrayed, and worse, I feel like they're taking away my ability to give my family a good life. I've almost got them to the end zone, she thought. We have a good life, Nate. Part of that is having a father who is proud of his work and proud of who he is. That's worth more to the kids than any amount of money. Cassie poked him gently in the chest. What does your heart really want, Nate? I want to run the company my way, like I always have, just like Dad and Grandpa. Will you be able to do that if you let the union in? Nate shook his head. No. Let me ask you again, honey, what do you really want to do? If I can't run the company my way, and there's no way we can make it, I want to screw the bastards who ruined it and the government that helped them. As I've said, this isn't America anymore. The little guy can't make it. It's all big business, big unions, and big government. They're all in bed together, while small companies like ours that make all the jobs get left out in the cold. I want to screw them all. And how would you do that? Well, I can't do much about big business and big government, but I can do something about these union thugs. What I really want to do is let them all go and give them their 30 days as required by law. I'd work 24/7 myself to crank out as much work as I could to help pay for some of it. Buck can help me if he's not busy with classes. I'd sell the rest of the contracts. And once it was all over, I'd auction off all the equipment piece by piece. Would it make you feel better to know that Tim and a few others would be happy to cross the picket line to work for you? From what they told me, the vote to bring in the union was close. Frankly, I think they'd be glad to get 30 days more pay, especially if we help them find another job. Nate turned to Cassie with an astonished look. Really? Tim said that? I knew I made a good choice for my foreman. He leaned up on his elbow. Let him know that any of them who want to work can have as many hours as they want until the work is gone. They can sleep in the damn office if they're worried about crossing a picket line. And if any of them think they might go out on their own, I'll give them first dibs at any equipment before we put it up for an auction. So how does Mr. North feel now? Cassie had moved him along, and he had finally made the decision he had been avoiding for weeks. Damn, I feel great, he said, his burden lifted. I'd always planned to pass on the company to Buck, but there's really nothing left to give him. He grinned. And I'm looking forward to telling that son of a bitch union boss I'm shutting the place down. Cassie stroked his cheek with the back of her hands. I married a man of principle, and I don't want anything less. I want a husband who knows the right thing to do and has the guts to do it. Nate patted his belly. I've got the guts all right, he said, laughing. So that concludes today's episode, which is the first part of September of 2029 of The Eagle Has Crashed. Hopefully everyone's enjoying it, and I hope you have a great week. And as always, if you would like to purchase the book, which the author would very much appreciate, it is available in both paperback and ebook formats. You can get it at clearpeakpress.com, from Amazon, from Barnes & Noble, from the Sony store, the iTunes store, smashwords.com, and other retailers. So anyhow, thank you for inviting me into your day, and have a great week, and we'll be back with the rest of, or a continuation of September of 2029 next Sunday. See ya.